Hello everyone, welcome to H&S Automotive and thank you for taking an interest in this 2007 Honda Civic LX. So in this video, we'll do a quick walkthrough of this vehicle. I'll try to point out any imperfections this vehicle may have, and then we'll also go over some of the major features and functions of this vehicle. Now, before we get started, we would like to point out that we purchased this vehicle from an insurance company. The only real things that we've done to them or done to this car is replace this passenger side fender. It had a pretty substantial dent over here, and then the headlights were hazed over the old ones, and then we put the new ones on. One of the headlights had broken tabs and stuff, so brand new headlights were placed on both sides. And then other than that, there's not a whole lot that we had to do to this vehicle. Now, we would like to also point out this vehicle appears to have been in another accident, which was completely unrelated to the one that we got it from. And it seems to have had these two doors replaced. Now, as you can see, this vehicle has a pinstripe over here, and these doors do not have a pinstripe. Now, this was repaired in the past. This is not a repair that we've done to this vehicle. And then in light of that, there also seems to have been a repair made right over here. Now, we are fully transparent with all of our vehicles, and just pointing out the repairs that have been made in the past. All right. So that was that. And then, like I said, we replaced this fender. The hood is not something that we replaced. Now, this is the hood that we got the vehicle with, but once again, it does seem to have been repainted. Just judging from the glare that we see on the hood. It's not a bad paint job or anything like that, but it's definitely not factory. All right, now with that out of the way, this vehicle does have a clear Wisconsin title. That means it's not rebuilt or salvaged or anything like that, so it does have a clear Wisconsin title. All right. So at first, I'll just kind of walk around the vehicle, give you guys a general overview, and then after that, we will dive in a little bit deeper. Here we are coming around towards the driver's side. And here we are coming around towards the back. And once again, back on the passenger side of this vehicle. All right. Now, moving in a little bit closer. Taking a look at the front bumper cover, starting from the passenger side. Now, as you can see, there is a little bit of a missing piece from the bumper right over here. Now, this is the original bumper that we got with the vehicle, and there also seems to have been a repair made right over here and a crack right over here. Now, we did have this bumper off. It does have the plastic staples in the back, so this crack is not going to spread any further. It has been reinforced from the back, but once again, it is there nonetheless. And then moving on, taking a look at the rest of the bumper cover. Once again, little imperfection right over here. And then this headlight over here does have some condensation in it. Once again, it is a new headlight. Unfortunately, one of the seals didn't seal it too well. And then taking a look, the rest of the bumper cover seems to be in pretty good condition. All right, and we did kind of go over the hood. I'll go over it once again. Don't see any rock chips or anything like that. However, it does seem to have been repainted in the past. All right, now checking out the driver's side front fender. The front fender seems to be in pretty good condition, actually. There's no damage or dents or scratches that I can see. I think this may have also been repainted in the past. It's actually a pretty decent paint job. I'm not criticizing the paint job at all, but would like to disclose that it does seem to have been repainted. Now, taking a look at the tires. The tires on this vehicle are almost in, they seem to be pretty new, hardly used. And then the rims are also in great condition. It does have these aftermarket rims, which do match the color of the vehicle, which is really nice. Brakes are also in great condition. No issues there. Now, mechanically, even though I am pointing out quite a few cosmetic issues, this vehicle having been in an accident and all that stuff, Mechanically, this vehicle is in amazing condition. I mean, the vehicle only has about 72,000 miles on the odometer, or 74,000, which is super low for this vehicle, but mechanically it is in great condition. Now taking a look at the driver's door. Once again, looking for any dents or scratches or anything like that, any imperfections. Don't see a whole lot right off the bat. I guess there's a little bit of a residue, I guess, on here, just right there. And now taking a look at the rear door. Once again, don't see any dents or scratches. The paint does seem to have been faded a little bit. Now this is a Florida car. This vehicle was in Florida up until 2018, which is what we saw from some of the records that we received. So this fading is pretty normal. Now coming around to the rear quarter panel. Once again, looking for any dents or scratches. Don't see any once again. I guess very minor dent right over here, but nothing of concern. Taking a look at the rear tire. Once again, the tire tread on this vehicle is in great condition. Aftermarket rims to match the color of the vehicle. And now coming around towards the back and taking a look at the rear bumper cover. This is just some sticker. I don't see any scrape marks or any scratches or anything like that. The rear bumper cover actually seems to be in very good condition, which is quite rare for a vehicle this age. Typically what we see is some scraping right over here, you know, from parallel parking and all that stuff, but rear bumper cover on this vehicle is in very good condition. Taking a look at the trunk lid. Overall, very good. Now there are some minor scratches on here, just from people setting their groceries or whatever the case may be on the trunk lid, but that seems to be fairly common in these vehicles. All right, now looking at the rear quarter panel. Once again, dents or scratches, small little scratches right over here. Nothing major, but they are there nonetheless. Once again, tires are in great condition. Now this rim does have a little bit of an imperfection. I guess somebody got a little bit too close to the curb. Nothing major, but not as perfect as all the other rims, but once again, pretty minor. All right, now the passenger side rear door. Now this is one of the doors, like I pointed out earlier, seems to have been replaced, just judging from the pinstripe and just some panel gaps. So right over here, this panel gap seems to be a little bit more than what it should be, but with that being said, the door opens and closes with ease. No issues in that aspect, but once again, there does seem to have been a repair made in the past right over here. All right, and taking a look at the passenger side front door. I guess a little bit of a, no, just some fading right over here. Nothing major. I thought it was a dent at first. Taking a look at the rocker panel actually, and the reason I say that is because it seems to be a little bit of a dent right over here on the rocker panel. All right. Now moving on to the front passenger side fender. Now once again, this is the one panel, I guess, that we have replaced here. Had a dent right over here, so it was just pretty easy to replace that fender. And then when we were doing that, we did notice some damage from like a previous accident that was in this corner. Yeah, and that was unrelated to the damage that we got the vehicle with. But yeah. All right, now with that being said, let's climb into the vehicle and take a look inside. All right, right over here we've got the driver's door for the vehicle. So this vehicle is equipped with power windows as well as power door locks right over here, and then power mirrors as well. So mostly all power. Taking a look at the interior. Overall, the interior is actually in very good condition. Not abused or anything like that. We'll climb inside. And from here, I'll start the vehicle. my seatbelt on so it stops dinging. All right, so taking a look at the instrument cluster for this vehicle. As you guys can see, this vehicle does only have 73,900 miles. Now for a 2007 Honda Civic, that is extremely low. The engine and transmission runs smooth. There's absolutely no issues with the drivetrain. The suspension is nice and solid. Brakes, mechanically this vehicle is in near perfect condition. The only dings on this, I guess, is the repair that's been done in the past. Now we do also have a little screen up here that just displays your miles per hour. We do have the engine temperature gauge right over there, and then the fuel level gauge right there. Speaking of the fuel level gauge, this vehicle does get approximately 35 miles to the gallon on the highway. Now it could be a little bit off, but approximately 35 miles to the gallon. So very good on MPGs. And taking a look at the rest of the dashboard, nice and clean. All right, I'll just kind of zoom out from here. All right, now going over some of the steering wheel controls, we do have the cruise control right over here. I'll turn the lights on. Cruise control operation is right here. We've got the cruise control button, and you see it illuminated right over there. You press it again and it turns off. To accelerate or decelerate can just be done from right here, and then to disconnect the cruise control is just another button right there. Now behind the steering wheel, we do have our typical turn signal stalks, which doubles as headlight operation and high beams. And then on the other side, we've got our wiper controls. All right. And then moving on to the center of the dashboard, I'll just kind of power this on. So we got the audio controls right over here. Now it's saying enter code right over here. We had the battery disconnected for a little bit, so we'll get the code entered. But this vehicle is equipped with AM, FM, as well as aux connectivity. And then we also have a CD input right over here. Pretty basic controls. Got our volume control right over here, and then the tuner is right here. Now beneath that, we've got our climate controls for the vehicle. The fan speed right over here, and then our vent controls are right here, and then the temperature control is just right over here. So once again, very, very simple controls. And now moving on, we do have a little bit of a storage compartment right here, and the aux connectivity, I'm not sure if the camera is kind of picking it up, but you do have an outlet right over here, and then the aux connectivity is just a input spot right under that outlet. Once again, additional storage right here. And then we do have our transmission selector right here. As you guys can see, this vehicle is an automatic. And then parking brake right here. Works very nice. All right, and then just some additional storage. Right over here, as you can see, we've got our cup holders, pretty decent sized cup holders. And now additional storage right over here as well. Got some napkins in there. All right. Now just taking a look at the interior. Seats are nice and clean. There's no rips or tears or anything like that. All right. So from here, we will climb into the rear seating area and check that out. Got our rear door right here. Once again, power windows. And then the rear seating area. This is our view from the rear. Not a bad place to be. All right. Now, since we are back here, one other thing we would like to point out is this headliner. Now, like I mentioned before, this vehicle does seem to have spent most of its life in Florida. So with the Florida sun beating down, it is pretty hard on the glue in the headliner. So the headliner is sagging just a little bit. So, yep, right there. All right, climb right out. So as you guys can tell, this vehicle is currently running. Once again, very smooth running engine, but we'll take a closer look right under the hood. Alrighty guys, so here we are in the engine compartment for this vehicle. So from here, I'll just kind of be quiet for a second, let you guys take a listen. So as you guys can tell, nice and smooth running engine. There's no odd noises or vibrations. All right, so from here we will take a look underneath the vehicle. Alrighty guys, as you can see, we've got this vehicle on the lift. So from here we'll just walk under the vehicle and I'll point out a few things. Starting with the engine and transmission. So right over here, as you can see, we got the engine and transmission. I'll just kind of zoom out a little bit. All right, so engine is right over here. As you guys can see, no seepage or anything like that. Once again, this engine does only have 74,000 miles, so nice and clean there. Got the transmission right over here. Once again, nice and clean, no real leaks or anything like that. Now taking a look at the passenger side front suspension. As you guys can see, the CV boots are nice and dry. Now if it was leaking or anything like that, you'd see grease all over. But as you can see, nice and dry, no issues there. Now we'll take a look at the driver's side. All right, here's the driver's side suspension. Once again, nice and dry, no issues. Everything is properly mounted and secured. All right. Now, like I said, this is a Florida car, so as you can see on the subframe, you still have the actual original paint on the subframe, which is very uncommon for Wisconsin. All right, so from here, we'll just kind of walk right down the middle and check it out. So this is us looking back towards the front of the vehicle, towards the engine and transmission. Right over here, we see our fuel lines as well as brake lines running right under the vehicle. Nice and clean, no rust issues or anything like that. Now the rocker panels on this vehicle, as you guys can see, nice and solid. We got the structure portion of the body, nice and clean. All right, and we'll take a look at the passenger side once again, starting with the rocker panels. As you guys can see, nice and solid. Structure portion right over here. And then we got our exhaust running right down the middle. Now the interesting thing is, even the exhaust doesn't even have any rust on it. Now, I'm not sure if this has ever been replaced, but this is very nice to see that. Not typically, exhaust is the first thing to be rusted out, but this is nice and dry. All right, so going right down and checking out the rear suspension. Right over here. Not a whole lot to point out. Now this vehicle is a front wheel drive, so there's no CV boots running back here, but once again, nice and dry, no suspension issues or anything like that. This car handles and drives very well. This is a better look at the tires right over here. All right, we got our gas tank right over here, and here's our view from the rear. Once again, we got our exhaust running right there. Alrighty guys. Once again guys, thank you for taking an interest in this 2007 Honda Civic. If you guys have any other questions or concerns, please feel free to ask and we'll be happy to get those answered for you. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye-bye.